Good morning and welcome. Unfortunately, this time slot was for Thomas Stimpre, but he is not able to do it because some reason. So Peter asked people to do extra session, and I raised my hand and I prepared some slides, and I'm ready to deliver another session. And my session today, I'll have also the session in the afternoon, that's the planned session. And this one is a bonus session. But it's something like the Monday session when I've been talking about the nice shiny tokens, and I told you do not start with a token. So this is something similar, but not about authentication, but about secrets in general. So maybe you already have something. Of course, the best is SecureAnyBox5, our product. Or maybe you still, are in the stage of a mess. So that's this session is about a mess and how to move to an ordnung. Because we are in Germany, I did not use the English word of order. I use a German word of ordnung. It sounds much better, right? So before you start, and that's similar to the Monday session, with any consolidation, any secrets consolidation, you need to understand what is the current situation. Trust me, that's very similar to the authentication area. If you think you know, you probably do not know. That's my personal experience. Yeah. And when we talk about secrets, it's generally anything, not only credentials like username and password, but also keys, certificates, some classified documents, information about your, let's say, cards. Credit cards or debit cards, and all this stuff. Yeah, and it is not used or utilized by the IT department only, but virtually any user working with a computer is working with some secrets and on behalf of the organization. Of course, people also have their private secrets, and I do not mean those dark wishes, I mean secrets. And we have only one brain, so that's mixed up in the brain together. So first of all, you should ask your team members and other teams within the organization, ask the regular users, or maybe you should start with so-called power users. You know who is the power user? That's the user. Others follow the power user, yeah, because he or she knows better how to work with Word. And you should also ask your service providers, because service providers, they are very often the biggest risk you can identify in your organization. Yeah, and that's not, again, only about IT. There are very frightening stories about refrigeration, lifts, alarms, anything, ventilation system, anything you simply use, because everything today has a control unit. And the question is, who knows how to access the control unit and modify something? Yeah. If you ask the users, there are two possible scenarios. The first one, if you are lucky enough, they respond. So you send an email like, please let me know what you use because we are working on a project. If they respond and they, very proudly say, oh, I'm using this, then you have just a mess. But your users are, responding. One scenario is they ignore. I remember one project that's a big government organization, and the boss there, you know, imagine organization of, I don't know, 15,000 users, 15,000 users. So the IT department is not 5 or 10 people, it's more than 100 to serve this number of users. And we met each other, it was a second or third meeting, and he told me, hey, Václav, I sent a message, I sent an email to all of them, and I asked them, what do they use? They say, aha, but I've got no answers. They completely ignore me. It's not good, right? It's not good, because that means they do not want to tell you. They are not proud about the stuff they use, and you are in deep troubles. Or we can use other word, but that's not okay during the presentation. So let's keep the talking about the trouble. So in fact, when you start investigating where are the secrets, and we can maybe say where are the secrets you are responsible for, there are possible scenarios. So you can identify typical guys within your organization. So type 1 is somebody who likes to use mobile phone. Of course, that's a private mobile phone. Yeah? So they have something on the mobile phone, and that guy keeps everything on the mobile phone. If he is working only for you, he probably keeps only your secrets. If he has 2 or 3 jobs, then you are probably mixed up with other organizations here. Why I mention this, it's because if this guy comes from a service provider, imagine how many customers that one guy is serving. That's a main problem, the most common problem with any service providers, because they are not paid for good security. I mean, not the organization, the people, people. They are not paid for a good security. They are paid for a number of customers they can serve per day. So I sometimes call them collectors. They collect, because next time they got a ticket, or call from you, they can be faster because they have everything already on their laptop or is a mobile phone. So that is why some customers say, okay, we need a consultant because it is pretty complex to configure our firewall, but we are not going to allow that guy to use his own laptop to do it. We do not want to see, our critical information, a copy of the whole configuration of the whole thing on his or her laptop. So another type of guy is using notebook. In fact, when you compare mobile and notebook is more risky, because they use anything, Notepad, ePass, Excel, whatever. It depends. How easy and fast is it to copy and paste the secrets? Yeah? So those guys, they consider themselves as pretty flexible guys. Oh, I can do it. That's not a problem. I just go. I have everything. Once I been at a government organization, and I had a meeting with the boss, the IT manager. And he was, like, oh, yes, that's very nice what you present to me, Václav, but this is government. Yeah, everything is okay. I say, and he said, you know what? Let's go, let's visit the room of network administrators. I show you. And I said, oh, this is a pretty risky for me, but okay. So we went there, and imagine there was a group of people working We opened the door, and one guy, one poor guy, was, like if I approach this seat, he's sitting here, so we been behind his back. And the boss said, Mr. Smith, you manage servers, right? Oh, yeah, I do. Can you show Mr. Šamša? Oh, he is showing us some solution. I think we do not need it. Can you show him how you connect to a server and manage the server? Yeah, no problem. So he switched to Notepad. I'm not kidding. It was ministry. He switched to Notepad, copy-paste name, copy-paste password. He was in. His boss was frozen, like, but I see you have it on drive D, right? So your drive D is encrypted, isn't it? No, why? So the boss told me, okay, Václav, let's come back to my office. We need to talk about your solution. But at that moment, I knew the deal is lost. And that's exactly what happened. Because for him, it was a terrible situation. He even does not want to meet me again because I'm the guy who knows. Yeah, it's, if you are not a customer, if you are a partner, avoid such situations. Say, oh, sorry, I'd be very happy to see it, but I do not have time. I have to go. Sorry. That's much better. So computers are pretty risky, but we have even more flexible guys, and they combine both. And they have a good reason why they do that. Because sometimes they work at the desk, and computer is perfect, yeah? You are faster. But they also travel with some big customers. Some of our customers are that big. That depends, Bigger customers, they have a bike. Not motorbike, just a bike. So, that's so big that they use a bike. But some customers, nuclear power plant, I cannot tell you in which country, they have cars because that's that big that the company does not want to see them losing time by traveling. So they drive car. And that is why such guy is using both devices, because when the guy is, trying to fix some switch or router or whatever, 2 kilometers away, mobile phone is perfect. Huh? But the question is how that guy is synchronizing information between these two devices. And the best is to send email himself. Yeah, you want to put something. Oh yeah, now I think that WhatsApp is now that smart that you can chat with yourself with your own account. Yeah, but email is still the winner. But there is a problem with emails, and I will talk about it later. So, and then last typical guy is a very responsible guy, very responsible. He knows about all the risks. He says, oh, the organization I'm working for, they are, that slow, that stupid, they do not have anything, I fix it. And the guy pays LastPass or 1Password and whatever cloud outside EU, for example. If you are from EU, you know why I say it this way, because if you work for government, directly or indirectly, it is not legal. It's simply not legal. Yeah, in EU we have very strange legal things, like legally battery car has 0 emission. There is a law that says 0 emission. Okay. So, but the law also says, and this is harmonizes everywhere, that secrets should not sometimes leave the EU, sometimes leave your country. Okay, so must be inside. So if you are working for government organization and you use LastPass, you break the law, because LastPass is located in the United States, the great country driven now by Tesla. So this can be not only a technical problem, this can be also a legal problem. And the problem starts when you ask, what do you use? And you know. So be very careful when you send such emails, because if you get a written response, okay, you know that is my recommendation, but on the other side, you know something which should not happen. So what will be your reaction as a boss? Like, oh, stop it, or something like that. Yeah? So that can be a problem. And this type of guy is also typically a guy who is a power user and who, recommends others, you should do it too. That's another problem for you, if you are responsible for security. So what is the problem? Yeah, security. It's risky. Whatever they do that way, it is risky. But there are other problems, because our topic today is how to move from the mess to an ordnung. Yeah, and what is important for you is integrity and relevance of the data. Yeah. So if they keep the secrets, the phase we've seen a while ago, you are in troubles, not only because of security, but also because there is no synchronization across devices, across different tools the users use. So that means that you might have two users. If your team is very small, you can be a boss and have two guys, okay? And then one guy is Joe and the other guy name is Fred. So, and they both use something, and what can happen that Joe has something outdated, Fred has something outdated, and it's not the same. This picture shows the situation, okay? So imagine you are that lucky that they use the same tool, Excel. Excel is nice, since 2016 they use AES. So if you protect Excel with a password, it's really encrypted. So it's a bit better than Notepad, right? So you might have two sets, and these, I use the name just because those are records for the same, let's say, computer, same account, but different password. Why? Because this guy updated his sheet, let's say, 6 months ago, and since then he did not touch it. But this guy, he authenticated, and because there is, password change rule, that thing enforces him to change the password. So he did. So this password is valid. This password is outdated. Wow. Imagine you do not have two guys. You have 100 guys. That's a total mess. Total mess. You simply do not know what is valid and what is not valid. Okay? But you need to migrate everything in a organized storage, like SecureAnyBox5. How to do that? How can you recognize that what is outdated and what is valid? Yeah. With one shared file, it's much easier. If I return for a while back to the real mess, yeah. Nice example. One of our customers is a service provider. We have many service providers as customers because they keep tons of data of their customers. And when they sign an agreement with the customer, there is always a part which says, oh, we will pay you €1,000,000 if we cause a leak of data. Sometimes they even must prove, oh, we have insurance for that. So that organization is, let's say, mid-size, roughly 1,300 users, and at least 1,100 of them are consultants working for customers. So when they bought SecureAnyBox, they first plan was, okay, now we have the solution done. We just let the users, the consultants, to authenticate, import the data, and okay. After 2 weeks, they discover that they are just moving mess unchanged in SecureAnyBox. So we got in touch and they said, hey, Václav, what is your recommendation? Said, let's start again from scratch. Remove the installation, let's install it again, and you need to promote somebody who will be responsible for the data relevance and integrity. And then guys should, approve anything before it is imported. Okay, they are a Microsoft shop, so they decide that the only input format will be CSV, let's say Excel. That's a smart decision because almost with anything, including SecureAnyBox, you can export data into CSV. So yeah, that's doable. So they promote the guy responsible for the quality, and people had to present the CSV file to him. He checked, he said, this is okay, you can import, this is not okay, you need to fix this. And finally, they even prepared, I think, 3 computers, and the import was possible only from those computers. Yeah, and they been working like crazy, and guess what time it took? To migrate 1,100 users to SecureAnyBox. That's not fault of SecureAnyBox, let's say from MES to ordnung. What time it took? 1 year. They've been really working hard. But you need to think like, okay, 1 year has 220 working days. So you need to go at least 5 guys per day to do it in a year. So I do not have this slide, but the timing is like installation of SecureAnyBox 5 minutes, configuration of SecureAnyBox 1 day, migration 1 year. So you need, to set up your metrics, how you measure is the project successful, yes or no. You need to think in terms of this. So the time you will need for the migration is 1 year, but at the end you enjoy totally different level of security. Yeah, because security is not about encryption. Sometimes when you talk to people, they say, "Oh, I use KeePass." Say, "Oh, it's nice single user tool. Yeah, you use it at home." No, we use it in the company. Why you choose KeePass? Because it encrypts. Yeah, PK-zip encrypts, and that's the same mechanism. But what you really need among encryption is audit, reporting, notification, watching, all the enterprise stuff, which helps you to keep control of your secrets, okay? So with a shared file as a start, or maybe several shared files, some organizations are that smart that they do not have 1 KeePass, they have 5 KeePass files, yeah? On the server, and they share those files. Then your situation is more comfortable. But there is still one problem, because if you have anything like KeePass, My favorite is another tool named CyberArk. You know CyberArk, Tycotic, ZenWorks, all these management tools. So when you start CyberArk server, what do you have to do? Does anybody have CyberArk? Okay, you need to decrypt the database. So you start the server and it waits, you type in a password, and then the database is, let's say decrypted. I do not exactly know what algorithm they use, but that's not important. So who knows this password? Has everything. 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 Yeah? So the problem with any storage like KeePass, Excel, whatever, is that user can tell you, oh, don't worry. When I've been searching through KeePass, I closed my eyes and I read only the record I've been searching for. Ha, 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 ha. So when you import such source, everything is compromised by everybody, which is not a good situation for you. We will talk in the afternoon session about very interesting scenarios, like your user can die, your user can got a long-term illness, your user can leave for maternity leave, you can fire people out even. Yeah. So that's also interesting. But for this session, we are in a situation that we successfully import, let's say, one KeePass file. Is there perfect? But everybody knows everything. So if you then want to investigate, okay, I need to know who is compromising this record, you should say, oh, everybody. Okay. How to fix the problem? Because, if you disable access to something, some information system, okay. But when the data, when the secret is anything, the user can remember. The user can have in some cache. The user can write a note on a paper, you are in trouble. So the only solution, the only working solution is to change everything. Go through it, record by record. If you are lucky enough, you have just several hundreds. If you are not that lucky, you have several thousands. And if you are totally unlucky, you have hundreds of thousands. That depends. But still, change it. Seriously, that's the only solution. Start working on it and, start with a rule like, okay, we do not have time. It's not possible to do it now. But whatever you do, when you, let's say, have to manage a printer, have to manage a network appliance, a part of your list, what you do with the device, change the password. And since then, you are the only guy who did it, who compromised it. That's the situation. That's our goal. Okay. So, but there is another problem. So, okay, once you are done with the changing, almost perfect. But still, we always see remains of the previous situation. And that's why I add this slide, a special note on emails. Emails, that's a crazy stuff. Sometimes organizations do not see the power of email. They do not recognize that 75% of the business logic inside the organization is done by emails, because there is nothing else. So if you want to provide a customer with a discount, you ask your boss by email. If you want, to organize anything, use email. If you want to share something, use email. And that's the problem, because people, imagine a room like this room, yeah, and a group of IT administrators, and you try to use what you have in your KeePass, yeah, it doesn't work. Hey guys, does anybody change the password? Yes, I did. I sent you the new password by email. The problem with emails, people quite often say, we know it's the transfer is not secure. Correct. But much bigger problem, 10 times bigger problem is that if you send an email, you have two instances, one on the sender side and the other one on the recipient side. And it's there, and if it's a cloud, it can be there forever. Respective, you do not know. Especially because your boss, before he or she signed the contract, did not ask them. Oh, it's Microsoft, it should be okay. I don't think so. So emails are not encrypted, so everything is there exposed. Yeah. That's another reason, maybe even more important reason, why you should change everything. I mean, everything you imported to the new solution, which is hopefully SecureAnyBox5. So do it and keep an eye on it. So focus on it and try to find, as many efficient enough ways how to change it. Okay. And you also need to prepare so-called SOP documents. You know what it stands for? You work for a corporation or as a standard operation process. So it tells the users how to use the new solution, because you, for example, want other advantages, like one password is used only once. Yeah. It is not important how many characters it has. Oh, if you synchronize this to Windows, then it's important. But on other cases, it is not that important. The only thing is important, do not use it twice. And you can prepare some, let's say, configuration to make it very easy for users. Yeah? So you can instruct users like, do not think. You are not paid for thinking. Just press the button, generate, and use it. Yeah? Of course, they are paid for thinking in other areas, but here you do not need any thinking. Just press this, and that's the right, process you should use. And if you do it this way, then the organization is happy with you. Yeah, your job is not at risk. Yeah, you are. You can even be an employee of the month. And as an employee of the month, I like one hotel in Salt Lake City. If you arrive at the hotel, there is very nice parking slot next to the entrance. But there is no, warning like this is, reserved for diamond members or whatever. No, this is reserved for the employee of the month. So if you become an employee of the month, you can park at that slot 1 month. Wow. I hope that you have nice car, because you should not damage the business of the hotel with your old stuff. Yeah? Okay, so this is also very important. Yeah, and why I mention it is that if you start with this afterwards, it's too late. This should be available from the very first day. Once you let the users to use the new stuff, it should be ready. Yeah, and that is why we have some, maybe when you see options in SecureAnyBox, all those options are ideas from our customers. Yeah, we are a small company, so our customers are really large organizations. So they come with very nice corporate ideas. And that is like, okay, there is a user who can manage how it looks like. Other users can use it, can change, can delete, can create, but they cannot change how it looks like. Because if you prepare your SOP, your instruction is like, search for this play and put it there. You do not want to see users giving you calls or dropping you emails like, oh, I tried to follow SOP, it's not there. Because somebody just tried to click something. Yeah? So that's a protection of the whole process, because when the users do what you want them to do, then you can really have a secured environment. So I still have 5 minutes, I think. So we can discuss this, or I'll be happy to answer any questions or challenge any complaints. If you are not happy with the session, just tell me. Yeah. I'm not going to ask you, please, who is still using Notepad, raise your hands, or who is using KeyPass, raise your hands. You know how it is. Hopefully, you know how it is. And I can mention one important thing, because nobody trusts IT guys. Even nobody likes them, right? So if you visit any other department, like financial department, and ask them about IT guys, they say, oh, they are just bad guys. So if you think about the solution, to which you can use, SecureAnyBox is a good option because it is administrator proof. If you are administrator, you can administer stupid things like what is the IP address, what is the URL, what is the certificate and keys and blah, blah, blah. You cannot access data of users. You cannot manage access users. Yeah, that's what I do when I read documentation of some other products, because people want me to compare. It's not doable. It's like, can you compare Fortinet and Sophos? Number of pages of the documentation is 800. Are you really going to do that? No. You search on the internet looking for some negative, oh, everybody is probably happy with that. It should be good. So what I do, I search the documentation looking for chapters like how to reset master password, CyberArk, or how to give access to the user. And when I see it, I say, aha, okay. Oh, that's not bad, Mr. Customer, but definitely not secure. Yeah, then I ask them like, and how is your administrator? Is he paying his mortgage on time? And what about his family? Is he still with his wife or her husband? Why you ask such questions? I say, you should ask such questions, not me. Because the weak point of your whole, security is your administrator. So keep him happy. Yeah. Sometimes you hear very, very strange stories like, oh, don't worry, we burn everything on CDs, and our administrator is that kind and he takes it at home to protect it. Oh, that's a real story. Everything I tell you is a real story. So that is important. So any questions? Anything? Yes, sir.
Do you present your vision in the afternoon session?
Not really. My afternoon session is again about, I do not understand my presence here as a marketing. Yeah. So when I've been talking about authentication, I mentioned Key Shield, but I would rather do a private or a extra session on it, because when I present SecureAnyBox, imagine we work on it since year 2000. So it's full of features like IDM or Access Manager. So even if we should go through all the features, we need 2 days. But we can focus on some on some important things. But very basic. We have a database, and each record in the database is encrypted separately. So there is no master password, nothing like that. It's not like KeePass. Everything is all the time encrypted, and there are no ACLs. In fact, that's pure encryption concept. So as a user, you have the key or you don't have the key. If you do not have the key, you have no access to the record. So you have other keys or other groups of records, but I can tell you one important example. Imagine you hire, not you, the HR department hired somebody new. You never ever seen that guy. Oh, who is he? With tattoos and very strange guy. So, of course, from the very first day, that guy should have email address, because you need to drop him emails like, hey, clean the floor. Huh? But you definitely do not want that new guy to have access to any secrets you are responsible for. So if there is an IDM, you can, go through all the rules and connectors and everything. At the end, in your SecureAnyBox, boom, you see a blue label in the announcement part, which informs you that there is something you should confirm. Perfect. Don't do that. After 2 or 3 weeks, the guy is an expert on cleaning. Say, he is quite okay. So let's give him access to our printers, because we want him to install new printer. So here is SOP, how to do that. Here is the printer. Here is access. Do it. And later, you can give him or her access to other areas, and you really know, oh, he's quite okay. Just looks strange, but he's okay. Yeah. In our company, when we hire somebody new, we even do not give that person a key as a security measure. Yeah. It's something you need to be proven, and then you can have the key. But when you have the key, you still do not have the code for alarm. So it's next stage, because it is really, really serious. So that is something you can do with SecureAnyBox. Yeah. And in my afternoon session, it's about the life cycle, and I will use only SecureAnyBox5 examples. So if you want to learn more and you can attend my afternoon session, that will be a bit about SecureAnyBox. Yeah. So anything else? You happy with that? Are you going to move from the mess to an ordnung? Do not tell me. Do not tell me. So thank you very much. Thank you. What is that?
Oh, I know
The
where the
cloud.
data is.
The cloud.
Here is your data.
To be honest, for me, that's too risky. I understand that for some applications it's okay, but for me it's too risky. Okay, thank you. See you in the afternoon. Thanks a lot. Thanks.